In this video, we are going to cover a nuanced form of logic. Normally, I think you may not have thought of this kind of logic earlier, even though we all use this logic, this form of logic, very frequently in our daily lives. Okay, so let me end the suspense and let me move on to the actual thing. But before we move on, since I know it's nuanced, I would want all of your attention here in the video. Okay. So before we get started, I would want you to go through this text, try to understand it as much as you can. Take your time, you can pause the video, try to understand this text, then we'll discuss it. Okay, coming back. So when you read this, in Autumnville, among these young children with elevated levels of lead in their blood. So we are talking about a particular place, Autumnville, and we are talking about among the children with elevated levels of lead in their blood. So they have elevated levels, so high levels of lead in their blood. Few live in houses containing lead-based paint. Few means not many. So not many live in houses containing lead-based paint. Think about, we are talking about levels of lead in their blood, and now we are saying not many live in houses containing lead-based paint. Can you make any connection or anything strikes you? The one thing that strikes me is that, okay, it's saying probably the lead in their blood is not really coming from lead-based paint because not many people live in these houses. But many live in areas where vehicular traffic is heavy. Okay. So essentially, the sentence is indicating. We cannot infer, but sentence is taking me in that direction that, okay, possibly lead-based paint is not really the cause of lead in their blood, but actually it has something to do with vehicular traffic. So if vehicular traffic is heavy, probably that's leading to elevated levels of lead in their blood. Okay, these children's elevated blood lead levels, okay, these children's high blood lead levels probably result from lead-added to gas. Okay, so let's take a pause here. Okay, I think some people are used to not taking a pause in the middle of a sentence. They take a pause only at the end of many years here. Okay, but it's a good strategy. It's a good technique to take pauses at the end of any sensible idea. So this is a complete idea. So we can take a pause here. So we are saying these children's elevated blood lead levels probably result from lead added to gas. So what is the connection of this statement, this part, with the first statement? Try to think about it. Yesterday I was doing a session with my student. Let's say her name is Shefali. So I asked Shefali, so what is the connection? She said that this is an explanation for this first statement, that among the children with elevated levels of lead in their blood, many live in areas where vehicle traffic is heavy. So why is it so? Because essentially the elevated blood lead levels probably result from lead added to gas. So basically, right? So their lead which is added to gasoline, gas means gasoline here, which is petrol. So their high blood lead levels is because of this lead added to gasoline that is somehow making it to their blood, and that's why many live in areas where regular traffic is heavy. So this is her understanding that this statement is an explanation of the first statement. Then what I did was I gave her this statement. Shefali solved a hard question correctly within a minute. Shefali is brilliant. What is the connection between these two statements? Think about it. So whenever I say think about it, you can pause the video, think about it, and come back. You will gain more from this video. Okay, now, so what she said was that in this case, this statement, this first statement is explaining the second statement. Okay, so she was saying that This explains why Shefali is brilliant. Why Shefali is brilliant? Because she solved a hard question correctly within a minute. When she said so, I asked her, okay, but why can't I say that this statement is an explanation of the first statement? That Shefali solved a hard question correctly within a minute because Shefali is brilliant. Why can't I say that? And then she was, okay, I don't know. Yeah, this makes sense. And then I told her that, think about it. Shefali is brilliant is basically one explanation of this. If you think about it, right? If I tell you that, delete it. If I tell you that Shefali knew the question beforehand, okay, she had solved this question earlier in her practice, would we still be able to say that Shefali is brilliant? No. Right? In that case, we won't be able to say. So Shefali is brilliant is indeed one explanation of the first statement, that Shefali solved a question correctly within a minute. Right? And then I asked her that, okay, but why did this come to your mind that the first statement is explaining the second statement? She thought about it, then she came up with this, that because the first statement is a fact that, yeah, she solved the question correctly within a minute. The second is not really a fact. It's an opinion. It's a judgment. Okay. So what she was saying was that, and then I put words into her mouth, that essentially an opinion is generally not used to explain facts. Facts are used to support opinions. Opinions are not used to support facts. Right? Facts are facts. We use facts to support our opinions. And there I agreed with her that, yeah, we use facts to support our opinion, not the other way around. Right? So, and Shefali is brilliant is definitely an opinion. So what she was saying was making sense. That, yeah, the first statement is an explanation for the second. But what I was saying was also making sense, that the second statement is an explanation of the first. If you're already getting confused, I warned you that it's going to be nuanced. Okay, so who is right then? Well, both of us are right. The thing is, the first statement, the second statement is indeed an explanation of the first statement. As we said, Shefali is brilliant is one explanation. The other explanation for she solved a hard question correctly within a minute could be that she knew the question beforehand. She had solved this question earlier, or she was just cheating. She had microphone and speaker and all that. She was cheating in some way. Right? So there could be other explanations. So indeed, actually, let me write it. I'm not sure how much. So let me write it. The Shefali is brilliant is indeed an explanation of right? There could be other explanations also. But at the same time, what I want to say is, and just pay a lot of attention here, that Shefali solved a question correctly within a minute supports the opinion. Okay, so I am saying both of these are correct. Shefali is brilliant. It is indeed an explanation of this. And while at the same time, Shefali solved a question correctly within a minute supports this opinion. So when we say that is an explanation, it also means it's a cause. Okay, explanation means it's a cause. Is indeed a cause, right? There could be other causes as we discussed. There could be cheating. Other cause could be she had seen this question earlier and all that. So this is indeed a cause of this. So we are saying Shefali is brilliant is a cause. Okay, and let me copy. Is a cause and is the effect. So this is the cause and this is the effect. This is what I'm saying. And now if you relate it with this statement, we are saying that the effect is supporting the cause. Right? We don't usually think this way at all. Effect is supporting the cause. How does it make sense? Okay, let me first write it. So what I am saying is effect supports the cause. So we are using effect as a premise and we are concluding the cause. This is what I am saying. Now you may be thinking, wow, this is weird. Probably because you may not have thought about it earlier. But this is actually a very common logical structure in our daily lives. Okay, let me take other examples, some very common real life examples. One second. So yeah. So for example, let's say you come across somebody. Raj is smiling all the time. He's such a happy guy. Now, this looks sensible, right? Yeah, he's smiling all the time. So yeah, he's such a happy person, right? So here, definitely we think like this that, yeah, of course somebody is smiling all the time. Definitely he's happy because smile is equivalent to happiness, right? But no, this is not the case. If you think about it, if I tell you that he's smiling all the time because he thinks that that's how people are going to like him. Okay, so what I'm saying is he's smiling because he thinks that's how people will like him. Now, can you be sure that he is a happy person? You'll have doubts, right? Oh, he's genuinely happy or he's smiling just for the sake of smiling, right? So if you think about it, I've given an alternate cause why he's smiling all the time. And now you're not sure that he's a happy person. So if you think about it, he is a happy person is actually one cause of he's smiling all the time. Right? Because when I give you an alternate cause that, oh, well, he's smiling because he just wants people to like him, then you have an alternate cause, right? And then you're not sure about that. Oh, is he happy? Right? So essentially, this is the same argument structure. You're looking at an effect and you're deducing the cause. You're concluding a cause on the basis of an effect. But now this logic is so connected in your mind that you don't even think that, oh, I'm concluding a possible cause. You think, yeah, smiling, definitely happy. Right? And actually, if you think about it, all assessments about people are of this structure. We look at behavior of people, and let me say it. We look at behavior of people. For example, smiling or let's say angry. And then we conclude about their intentions or about the kind of person they are. A kind of person they are is essentially their intentions. We conclude about their intentions. For example, we may say, oh, he's angry, he's mean. Right? This happens. We look at angry people and we say, oh, they are so mean, right? They don't care about others. And then let's say somebody comes, let's say I come and say that, oh, well, this person is angry, but he has gone through a lot of childhood trauma. That angry person has gone through a lot of childhood trauma. Now, will you still be equally sure that he is mean? No, right? Because we have an alternate cause of his behavior. Oh, he's angry because just that he has gone through a lot in his life. It's not that he's mean, it's just that he has gone through a lot of turbulence in his life, right? So think about it. Before this, you may be thinking, of course, if he's angry, he's mean. He doesn't care about others. He's hurting others and he doesn't even think about that. But now if I give you an alternate cause why he's angry all the time, let's say, then you may think, oh, okay, he's not really mean. He's just gone through a lot. So I've given an alternate cause for his behavior, right? So this is very, very common in our daily lives. We look at behaviors and we make statements we conclude about the intention of the person or the kind of person he or she is. It's the same argument structure. Okay, the argument structure is we look at an effect and then we conclude a cause. Okay, and it can be easily weakened by producing an alternate cause. This is something we do in our daily lives. Okay, we don't realize that because we haven't really paid attention to the logical structures of the arguments we use in our daily lives. But possibly you now can see that. Okay, let me take a more GMAT-like example here. Let's say we have two kinds of cars, X cars and Y cars. So we have seen that it has been found that X cars get into accidents much less frequently than Y cars. Therefore, X cars are much safer than Y cars. You may read this argument, you may think, yeah, of course, that's how we define safety, right? Jiske kam accident, whatever car is getting into accidents fewer times, that's a safer car. That's how we define safety, right? So you may think it's like, yeah, common sense, it's like coming out from the definition of how safety is defined. But let's say I come and say that, well, you know that X cars are mostly bought by old people who drive those cars at 10 miles per hour, while Y cars are mostly bought by young people who drive those cars at 100 miles per hour. Now what happens? So basically, I'm giving you a reason why X cars get into accident much less frequently than Y cars, right? Because X cars are bought by old people and they drive those cars at 10 miles per hour. 10 miles per hour mein kya accident honge? Right? So it's a reason why X cars get into accident much less frequently than Y cars. And now you're not sure about that whether X cars are really safer than Y cars or not. Right? So if you think about it, X cars are much safer than Y cars is also a possible explanation of the fact that we observe. It's a possible cause of this. But when you read this, probably you may not have even thought of this, that we are concluding a cause from the effect, right? But this is a very common argument structure we have in our daily life. We look at the effect and we deduce a cause. But some of these things are so interlinked in our mind that we don't even realize that we are concluding a possible cause. We think, yeah, that's how safety is defined. No, safety is one possible cause of accidents being less frequent. There could be other causes also. As I said, that X cars are possibly bought by old people who drive these cars 10 miles per hour. So naturally, they're going to get into accidents less frequently. Okay, so with this understanding, let's go back to the original argument we had. So in this, I'm trying to say that the student said that, Shivali said, that this is an explanation of the first statement. That's right. But we also need to be aware that this is an opinion of the author. It's saying probably result from leaded to gas. So it's an opinion of the author, right? So as we read this, we should also be clear that this is a conclusion that is supported by the first statement. Okay, it is indeed an explanation, but the argument structure is effect, therefore cause, right? So the first statement is supporting that these children's elevated blood lead levels probably result from leaded to gas. Why? Because many live in areas where vehicular traffic is heavy. This is the structure. Okay, so as we read, we need to be clear while, yeah, this is indeed an explanation, but if you look at the argument structure, this is the conclusion supported by the first statement. Okay, that's it from my side. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any thoughts to share, if you like this video, you can let me know. If you think this video can be improved, actually this video can be improved in a lot of ways. But if you have any ideas, you can share that in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.